I just wanted to say quickly that Mexico as a market is absolutely blowing up right now. It is paying 3 times as much sometimes than America is for the same artists, some of them completely unknown. And Mexico is a heck of a lot, you know, Canada's a lot easier to get to from Mexico than it is from Brazil.
Hi, how are you? My name is Yoyo Borobia. I come from Venezuela, and I feel myself like Venezuelan in Spanish. And here I am. And I was wondering, well, I've been living in Brazil for a few years, and I just realized that the niche for Spanish-speaking artists here is pretty small compared to Portuguese or English-speaking artists. And I wanted to ask you, what about Canada? What's going on there? Is it like open to other languages, or is it mainly French and English that's going on, like for?
Well, like, I mean, Montreal's a very big cosmopolitan city. Toronto is the same, maybe a little less Vancouver, but in all of those, in Toronto, especially Toronto and Montreal, there's fairly large, like, immigrant populations. So there's a lot of, you know, there's community, and like the way, like, Canada is kind of like, there's like an emphasis to kind of keep your culture. So there, you know, the community, there's like, you know, I don't know how much of a Venezuelan community there is, but I know there's like a big Chileno community and Colombian, and you know, so
I'm speaking, I mean, regarding language more than the community, because I guess, for example, my music is playing a lot in Germany, right. And I just felt like lots more, you know, interest, even though it's not the language that they speak in Germany, rather than in Brazil. Even though I'm producing songs with like very Brazilian rhythms, you know.
Right. I would say that Germany is one of the countries in the world with the most open-minded population.
Yeah, that's for
they
sure.
really kind of don't care that much what language you're singing. That possibly because for many years they didn't have a strong media that was telling them what to like or buy. The way, for example, in England, the BBC just dominates, you know, what people listen to. Germans were kind of brought up going to music or listen to music and making up their own minds whether they liked it or not. So they tend to have a very, very open-minded attitude. I think Canada's fairly open-minded, but it's not as open-minded as Germany. It's probably more open-minded than America. America really, unless you're Latino, I don't think anyone wants to listen to Latino music, which is really sad because it can be really great. However, when bands reach a certain level, outside of the world music thing, again, where you tend to get pigeonholed in if you don't sing in English or French in the case of Quebec. When a band reaches a certain level, or a certain quality level, I think people are really open. I brought a band from Argentina called Todos Sus Muertos to Canada about 15 years ago as well, and people really liked them a lot, and it didn't really matter that they were singing in Spanish because the band was really great. So it's doable, but it'll be smaller than, you know, it's not going to be everybody. It's going to be a piece of the market that's open-minded.
Got it.
Mais alguma pergunta?
Agora uma pergunta. Eu fiquei ouvindo vocês, achei interessantes as colocações, mas simplesmente me vem assim, então, como fazer show lá? Porque, assim, se o ideal é uma vez na frente para poder viajar e ter dinheiro para voltar a segunda vez. Mas ir no escuro também não adianta, mesmo que seja para prospectar alguma coisa. Qual seria o caminho? Por exemplo, eu trabalho com uma música de identidade brasileira. Eu gostei muito do que o Jean falava sobre essa questão da proteção da cultura na Austrália. Porque eu também, no lema da empresa que eu trabalho, o nosso lema é isso. O povo que não tem identidade não é um povo. E ser nobre é ter identidade. Então, eu gostei muito disso. Agora, eu tenho interesse de exportar a minha música, mas qual é o caminho? Por exemplo, eu tenho interesse de fazer um trabalho lá, mas quem eu procuro para começar a me ajudar, inclusive, a ter esse olhar? Porque chegar também na cidade para visitar, vou visitar o quê, quem, como? O que vocês sugerem?
Do you want to answer first, Fabricio, or me?
Fabricio, maybe.
You want me to do it? I mean, I think if you go to conference events like SIM, for example. I think that the idea of these events is actually to put you directly in touch and in relationship with the kind of people that you need to be in relationship with to know what to do and to know how the market is and to take a chance and know where to go and know who to talk to, et cetera, et cetera. So if you decide to go to an event like Canadian Music Week or M for Montreal or Pop Montreal or Mondial or something like that, I think that's a great place to start because you will automatically meet a lot of people who can really give you a lay of the land. There might be also, I'm sure there is, this is Fabricio has to answer, but there must be local people here in Brazil who have knowledge of the right people to reach out to when you go abroad. And you should probably consult with some of these people or organizations to get a sense of, what's the right place to go and when's the right place to go and who should I speak to. What do you reckon?
David McLaughlin.
Eu acho que tem que participar das coisas e dar uma pesquisada naquilo que tem mais a ver com o seu artista. Não adianta nada você ter uma banda de thrash metal e visitar o Pop Montreal. Eu, por exemplo, nunca fui os brasileiros adoram ir na Womex. E para mim e para o Dota, por exemplo, a Womex não serve para nada. Mas pro Fiote, para o pessoal de Recife, serve para tudo. Não faz sentido eles irem para o South by South. Tem que ter uma pesquisa nisso e ir nas conferências de música. Felizmente, tem assim São Paulo que está dando algumas entradas aqui, entendeu? Talvez não seja tão abrangente como fosse possível a gente ter alguém de um festival mais de world music no Canadá sentado nessa mesa também. O foco aqui é um pouco mais indie, pop, eletrônico, etc. Mas para quem está nesse nicho, talvez sejam os melhores contatos do Canadá, entendeu? Então, assim, tem que pesquisar, tem que ir nos lugares, tem que conhecer as coisas. E tem pessoas chaves no Brasil para fazer isso. Tem gente que, por exemplo, o Dago é um cara de São Paulo aqui que tem um acesso, é um grande amigo do Daniel, aconselha ele, mostra bandas para ele. Eu, por exemplo, faço a curadoria, uma pré-curadoria para o Primavera Sound, Primavera Pro na Espanha, que também passa pela gente, a gente apresenta por lá. Esse tipo de conferência que coloca a gente nessas condições. Porque eles também... Eu sou convidado para ir em muitos, ficam super curioso. Ontem os australianos estavam à noite, desesperado para ouvir a música que servia para o evento deles. Entendeu? Então, assim, precisa... Ontem, a hora que o cara chegou lá no Mancha, ele quase morreu. Nossa, achei o que eu queria, entendeu? Porque ele queria aquela música. Então, tem que participar, se engajar, ir, ver se tem mercado para aquilo, entendeu? Acho que é por aí. Não tem muito segredo. Ou, na verdade, tem um grande segredo, né?
I think FRANZ talked about that earlier, but it's really a relation-based business. So you have to start somewhere, and it will lead you somewhere else. There's the research. There's also like going to Mondial Montreal. If you're doing something that it's world music but very large, it can be electronic and it can be a mix of stuff. Just start there and you talk to people, and it'll just snowball to something else. And a little bit of research to go back to the Venezuela girl is not there anymore, but for example in Montreal there's a big Latino community. There's radio shows. So you just Google it. You go like Brazilian music or rock and roll music if it's rock and roll and in Portuguese that you do. You'll find a radio station. Somebody will play a song or many songs or have a specialty radio station program. You just send one song there and it'll lead you somewhere. So that's the only way. That's how we do it. That's how we got here. Is just do one little thing that brings you to another thing. More people, more and more people. So.
You first.
Yeah, just to add, I think like you just can't be lazy about it. It's like if you come to a conference, then like read the website and see exactly what's happening. Or if you're interested in a particular city or country or festival, then research that festival and see which artists have played there before. Get familiar with that event. I mean, it's not hard. It's just you have to, don't show up and not know anything about anything, familiarize yourself. Yeah, do your homework and then go with an open mind and, be friendly and bring some business cards, I guess. With streams. No one likes CDs. Don't give us CDs. We don't like them.
I don't mind.
Tem uma coisa importante também, que as pessoas normalmente querem ir nas coisas mais óbvias, assim, South by Southwest, Womex, etc. Tem um monte de showcase festival muito mais legal e mais próximo, que você encontra as pessoas com... Por exemplo, se eu tivesse uma banda indie pop, agora, eu não pagaria para ir no South by Southwest, eu pagaria para ir no Pop Montreal. Eu não iria na Womex, eu iria num festival de world music na Alemanha. Ou, se eu tivesse uma banda sul-americana que queria um mercado talvez canadense, eu viria para São Paulo. Porque assim, tem umas coisas que são um pouco menos óbvias e que são mais legais, cara. Que você consegue um contato mais próximo. Porque você vai no South by Southwest, tem 5 bilhões de pessoas passando por você, assim. É incrível como um passeio. Mas é foda estabelecer um relacionamento quando tem 5 bilhões de pessoas buscando aquela vaguinha, entendeu? Talvez ir com mais detalhe, mais tranquilo, é mais legal. Estabelecer uma relação de cada vez. E uma coisa que o Daniel falou, que é muito importante, cara. As pessoas não se preparam para ir nas conferências. Ontem à noite, a pessoa que chegou aqui e pegou o programa ontem tem que ler, tem que googar, tem que tirar essa semana para poder ir atrás de saber aquele cara que vai servir para ela. Porque é assim, é canseira, dá trabalho para caralho achar a pessoa certa. Mas uma hora acha. Às vezes, tem uma hora que você vai achar e vai conectar e vai ser um negócio que vai durar 10, 12, 15 anos. É isso. Tem que fazer a sua parte. Fazer a sua parte não é esperar um convite. O convite não vai acontecer, galera. Mesmo. Não adianta esperar, não vai rolar.
I just wanted to add one quick thing, which is that there are only so many people that actually run this business or make the decisions. There's a lot of us involved, but really there's not that many people that actually make these decisions. And most of everything else tends to funnel through a small amount of people, and then get filtered down to all the rest. And so finding those key people is really essential. And as an example to your question, I don't work with world music. I worked with one band that was kind of a little bit world music, but not so much. And I don't really work with like jazz or blues or guitar players or things like that. However, the booker of Montreal International Jazz Festival, which is a huge festival that books all kinds of stuff, is his best friend and my best friend and his best friend and his best friend, and we know them super well. So I have a stack, of CDs this big, which I will listen to, but once I'm done listening to them, probably 75% of them are not for me, and I'm going to take the ones I think are pretty good to really good, and I'm going to send them to Laurent at the festival. I'm going to say, you listen to this, or another festival, I'm going to say, you listen to this because this is your thing. So sometimes, just getting out there and meeting, good people can lead you to a place, even if at first glance it didn't look like the right place. It can still lead you to a good place.
Also, for most of this conference, we've been talking about like flying out to South by Southwest and like going to Canada and try to make it there. But like I think first and foremost, it's very important to grow an audience locally before trying to get out. And like, I mean, you gotta test your market first, and you can't expect to make it big in Canada if nobody knows you here, and so yeah.
Yeah, good, very good point.
But sometimes you're not, it doesn't work that much at home, and then you have to go out to make it happen. But also, we're just back from Fluvial, a new conference in Chile, which was amazing. Like Fabricio, you were telling, a smaller conference place, like it was in Valdivia in Chile, super small, so all the industry was there, plus the Australians, us, and other like Americans and Spanish people. So that was amazing for that, because we were all we couldn't go anywhere but to the shows or to meet our other industry friends. So I think you could look at that also,
I have a question for all Brazilians and all South Americans, actually, and I understand the cultural and linguistic question.
It's for him to ask or just to think?
And, just think about it or
Okay.
try and answer.
Because we just have
either
2
way.
more minutes
Okay,
and-
so here's the question. I understand Brazil is 200 million people that speak Portuguese, and the rest of South America is, 100, et cetera, million people that speak Spanish, and there's a competitiveness and a rivalry and all kinds of things historically. However, it seems to me that even within South America, you guys totally do not work together as much as you could, and it would help you all if you worked more together and were the power of South America rather than just individual countries that are struggling by yourselves.
That's not a question.
It's not a question, sorry.
Dá para ter mais uma pergunta. Ou então que eu tenho que correr para casa do Mancha. Você, ela? Não? Uma pergunta?
Posso perguntar?
Por favor.
Hello. Just want to know how about reggae music in Canada and hip hop. I want to know if there is a scene. Like I have a label. I produce some artists in Brazil, release them. But there is not really a market here in Brazil for this kind of music, reggae music.
Reggae
Dub
in
music, live
reggae
dub.
in English or in Portuguese?
Both, but in English especially.
Reggae music's pretty popular in like Toronto, in like in Ontario, like just it's not reggae at all, but there's a very large African American population, like black music we can call it. So stuff like The Weeknd and Drake that are pop also have their equivalents in reggae and urban and R&B and soul. So it's pretty popular there. It's not huge, but it's healthy. Hip hop is huge, especially on the English side, and has now become huge on the French side in Quebec. I'm going to let you answer this question because you guys actually you work with
Hip hop's quite.
you work with hip hop bands, which I don't.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't know much about the reggae scene in Canada actually, but I work with one band from Montreal who has a great career in Quebec, but they sing in French, so we don't expect them to go out in the rest of Canada or like in the US to make a career there, but we're really focusing in Quebec for them.
Yeah, I think like hip hop in particular, because it's such a language-based art form, it's hard. It's a little more difficult to sell like hip hop music outside of the language, the particular language. Reggae. I mean, there's a very large Jamaican community in Toronto, a smaller one in Montreal. Usually the reggae that people consume is coming from Jamaica. There is a little bit of reggae from, homegrown reggae. There's quite a decent scene, and Toronto's bigger, but Montreal has a scene. But I think generally people are a little skeptical of reggae that's not from Jamaica. I don't know why. But I mean, I think there's definitely scenes for it for sure, and hip hop is everywhere.
I'm asking because I also work with Jamaican artists. That's okay.
Amigos, é isso. Palma calorosa, que diz que nós somos um povo caloroso.